Okay, good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Smudcast number 405, Masculinity in the Gaming Industry. You'd think that'd be the title, which is a pretty generic, men in gaming. Okay, we're going to talk to a bunch of people in gaming who are men. But no, it's that other word or term associated with masculinity, which is toxic masculinity. So...
Is it? Oh, no.
I really dislike that term as a whole because what they're trying to refer to as is personality traits like that are very toxic, which both genders have. So I always find it more intuitive to say just toxic personality traits as opposed to toxic masculinity.
You could say negative personality traits that, or things you just don't like about a personality, which can extend far beyond the concept of a video game or a person who makes stuff. So it's kind of silly to even use the term, but to not even define the term. We've seen videos where people define the term. That's the specific nature of the video, where he just goes into what does that mean.
Seems to be different all the time.
It's almost always different, and it's sort of dancing around the issue of I just don't like men who do this. That's it.
Yeah.
As opposed to understanding.
As far as my definition's gone, I have gone back from like the one that everyone used originally back years ago and started coming up, which is personality traits that are toxic that are normally found in men, but sometimes also women. And it's just like, well, no, you kind of gotta balance that shit out.
There's all kinds of behaviors from men and women, from children, from young adults, from old people, that you go, okay, this being just a bitchy person, or this person's just whiny. There's all kinds of signs and terms we use for people already because we've seen it. We sometimes have done them ourselves. So it's not some impossible thing to figure out, but they're inventing this veil, this sort of umbrella term of just men being things we don't like at certain times. And how that translates to video gaming, I'm not quite sure. Because it sounds as if this could be applied to just about any scenario, or
it extends to just men being men. That's ultimately the problem they have.
Well, the actual occurrence is people are making up terms for things that already exist, but they are putting an implicit bias on the way it's spoken, the way it's said. So like toxic masculinity, it's negative personality traits or different types of things like that. They just reinvent words to make it easier to argue their point.
Right, and then people take it too far, and that's the problem.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right, so this video came out 2 years ago in June. It was done by GammaRay, and this video has almost 6,000 views. And it's 101...
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry? How long ago?
It came out 2 years ago. Sorry. 2 years ago.
Oh, 2 years
ago.
Yeah.
So it has 6,000 views from a channel that has 101 subs. So I don't know what's going on here, how he has such a low view count. But maybe he wasn't as big before. I have no idea. Anyway, his like to dislike ratio is pretty much half and half, 192 versus 168. So...
almost balanced.
Yeah, it's pretty balanced. Yeah, so I don't know what to expect. But I only saw a bit. I was like, all right, this is going to be painful. But it's only 6 minutes and a half, so it won't take too long.
Oh,
the thumbnail's already painful.
I think I've watched this video with quite a few people, just so I have an idea of it. It is just pain.
Don't spoil it.
All right.
Don't spoil it.
Okay, there are some subtitles we could pop on, so we can turn it off.
Nice.
I think somebody came...
and thankfully it's short.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Right.
Cool.
Anyway.
Yeah, like 6.5 minutes, yeah.
All right, good. This won't take too long. Okay, let's go.
Toxic is finally being challenged in the gaming industry, and one notable example we want to discuss today is none other than the Ghost of Sparta himself. Unlike every other game in the series, God of War for PS4 begins with a moment of quiet solemnity and vulnerable reflection as opposed to the screaming, bloody violence and gratuitous sex that made up the entirety of the other half.
So when he says gratuitous sex, no. There is implied sex, obviously, because there are sex scenes, but you don't see anything. You hear some stuff going on, and it's all video game-ish. So it lasts for maybe 10 seconds, a bunch of moaning, a bunch of jars bouncing around, and then you get a bunch of power-ups after you finish.
Yeah.
And that's it.
You get a lot of points, yes.
Yeah.
Also,
An effective way to
all
get points.
Yeah, it also all the
Without
things
getting
that
killed.
made it a franchise.
Also, it's fun. Also, all those scenes are fundamentally meant to be a joke. It's like basically the developers telling you, there's the scene. If you do it, we're gonna laugh at you.
Yeah, the best we get are topless nude women. Or I think it's Venus or Aphrodite.
Aphrodite, yes.
And her whatever person next to her. Like, that's about it. Like, that's harmless. It's not a big deal.
Although in that specific case, it's that one kind of contradicts something that happens later in God of War 3's plot, which is how he treats Pandora, who he treats very kindly, to put it lightly. It's like they try to make a parallel between Kratos, the loss of Kratos' family, and the game setting up Pandora as some kind of like surrogate daughter for him, which is contradicted, which it contradicts the sex scene with Aphrodite later. It's like he treats some people kindly, others he tries to manipulate them. And
Sorry
yeah,
about that.
The point in God of War 3 specifically, in God of War 3 specifically, there is definitely a bit of a contradiction when it comes to his overall character. But that's the worst it gets, honestly.
We can certainly say that the fourth game is a much reinvention of Kratos as a person. So his idea of being a dad, how that affects him being a family man, and the whole story just being about delivering ashes to a mountain peak and all the crap that goes along with that, and the violence he has to go through. So.
Yeah, the whole thing is that he gets his second chance when he finally tries to settle down again. Mm-hmm. Things happen here and there, but ultimately he does the best he fucking can. Which, spoiler alert, includes throwing the Blades of Chaos back on when it was made damn clear that he got rid of them.
Okay, here's France.
The fact that he was willing to suffer the pain and torture of the Blades of Chaos again, just for the sake of protecting his son. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Here's Francis Bardcola. Thanks for the one donation. This guy should just say, my dad left the family. My only friends were the girls who thought I was gay, and leave. Don't waste your time with this phony moral posturing about masculinity in gaming. Not like you know it if it decked him in the face. Well, let's see what he has to say. I'm willing to listen because people often use the fourth God of War game as, this is a great example of fatherhood.
I don't know why, though. It's always God of War they got to point towards to.
Yeah.
Well, because it's the most popular one. Like, it's like, this was a huge franchise at the PS2 era, and then it came over to PS3, and then we have this. So it's like, see, you can have like games that were just over the top. It's like, but at the same time, it's like, as a Devil May Cry fan, sometimes you just want to play as the gay cowboy in dual-wheeler motorcycle.
But when you really think about it, the overall core of God of War really hasn't changed. What has changed is the tone and the context of why he's doing it.
Sure.
Yeah, it's still about him trying to like redeem himself and care for his family in like a spiritual sense.
Yeah, and this time he involved himself in the violence just because he's willing to do it to protect his son.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's the same core concept, it's just done in a different way.
This is very similar to BioShock Infinite having your little friend or Elizabeth around with you. Who I don't think Atreus can get killed. I don't know. He gets knocked out maybe. But he's essentially invincible. And you're not defending him. He's just doing his own thing, shooting arrows and doing jumps. Same with Elizabeth.
I mean, he can get in trouble, if an enemy can grapple on him, and then you have to go and save him.
But the game doesn't end if he gets hurt or incapacitated. Like there's no end state with him. So the idea is that
it's been a while, but I think you may be right.
Yeah, like they don't deal with what happens if this kid gets killed? It's like, we're not going to do that. So it's all the narrative part is the daddy, and the rest is just a re-envisioning of the game mechanics of the original God of War. And a lot of people have argued they have been watered down. They have been simplified, if not streamlined. Same with the inventory system, the equips and the armor and all the gear. It becomes a looter, not a looter shooter, but a looter-esque game. So not quite
somewhat,
the same. Yeah, not quite the same. Here's the Mechanist. Thanks for the $1.11. As always love that 11 cents. I don't know why. Sorry for missing another Fallout video. I might have donated 1,000 caps yesterday. My 2 caps on New Vegas is that. It's very entertaining, but there's moments where I ruin a bunch of quests and faction rep just to say F you to the writer. Death to the NCR for Vegas. I'm with you. NCR sucks. That's all I had to say. Okay, let's go.
Dozen or so in the series. Nearly a decade since we last saw him, Kratos has changed. We're reintroduced to the Ghost of Sparta as a man who no longer boldly curses the heavens as he button mashes a bloody hole in the face of every god from here to Mount Olympus, but as a mournful, second-time widower who can barely look at his own son as he tells him there are consequences to killing.
You are not ready.
How did we get from this to this?
I don't really see what the problem with the old God of War is. Like, what difference is there?
Okay, so
again, it's ultimately the context of why he's doing it. It's not so much that it's like thematically nothing has changed.
Women.
It's just why.
In the first 3 God of Wars, it's just his wife and children are murdered, right? And so he goes to kill all
in the very original game, yes.
Yeah, right.
And I don't know. It's been a while since I ever played God of War.
I'll try to be the lore master here.
Wasn't the whole point like what he's doing is kind of ambiguous? Like he realizes he fucked up or something.
In what? Well, it's very clear that you mean when he lost his original family.
That one, and I think like towards the end of maybe God of War 3, where he killed himself.
Well, at least in God of War 1, that when we find out that he killed his own family, Ares very specifically set him up for that, just to turn him into his personal enforcer. But Kratos rebelled, and we got God of War 1 as a result.
Yes, and then the whole overarching story is him like. As you see in God of War 1,
taking revenge on the entire pantheon, going all the way up to Zeus.
So,
well, that's the follow-up. But at the end of God of War 1, he feels like he's completed his revenge by killing Ares, and then tries to jump off the cliff, and then he's redeemed and becomes the new God of War.
Yeah, but then the problem arises that they never truly hold up their end of the bargain, which is bringing back his family, which they were never going to fucking do.
And that is the context for God of War 2.
Between that and also, as revealed in 3, when Kratos opens the Pandora's box, not only does he gain the power to defeat Ares, but also releases the power of fear into the world. And when he kills himself in 3, he releases the power of hope into the world. So there's that new balance of hope versus fear. You know, that think of it like how it is in Green Lantern, in the Green Lantern Corps mythos. It's like hope on one side, fear on the other, and with center. That balance is now introduced as a 3.
Believe it or not, there's a lot of stuff going on in God of War.
Yes, and
and this guy wants to ignore it to make it seem like Kratos is immature or something.
The plot is very different, and obviously the gameplay is a lot more visceral, more action-packed, and I would say a lot more complicated in the first 3 games. It's streamlined in the 4th. The plot is somber. It's not as action-packed. It's not as aggressive. It's not revenge. It's not a revenge plot. So you have to have that sensibility when you're telling that kind of story. You're not going to suddenly have Kratos run around bloodthirsty for no reason. You have to explain it.
Yeah.
So,
especially since the game does consider the entire rest of the series into his decisions going into this one.
Yeah. So with that, I mean, like imagine Atreus, or is it Atreus or Atreyu? I can't remember.
Atreus. Yes, you got it right the first time.
Atreyu is Never-Ending Story.
Yeah, I see. That's what I remember. Atreus.
Maybe it's Loki.
Just imagine Atreus isn't in the story. Like he's just slowly going up the mountain to plant his to dust his wife's remains. Like it would still be a somber story. Just we wouldn't have this other character who's asking him questions like, "Dad, what about this? What about that?" If he didn't have that, he'd be a pretty quiet, weird sort of experience. And I think the idea of having this narrator or a secondary character who's along for the journey allows Kratos not to keep screaming at Athena or the Titans or whomever. He has to actually have a conversation with someone that he's not going to rip his head off at the end. So that's like, oh, this is so mature. It's like, well, in a way it is, but not really that more mature than if he had another companion with him, talking to them.
I mean, that is all true, yes. And in terms of like him, lashing out against some other entity or some other person, we pretty much have a strong feeling that since the next game is literally exactly what it says it is, this time it'll probably be, I don't know, Mr. Allfather way on high.
Maybe.
If he tries, I mean, the pantheons, I mean, a little bit of a lore bit, the pantheons in God of War definitely at least acknowledge each other's existence.
Yeah, it's similar.
And it is implied, it's implied that the Greek pantheon is, like, on the low end of, like, respect in terms of the overall, in terms of all of the lineups of deities.
I mean, yeah, we could go all kinds of different routes. The same with Assassin's Creed. People wanted Assassin's Creed to be in Japan. They wanted the Edo period based off architecture and what have you. And
you say we might just get that game.
We should. But with God of War, it's like we're going from the Greek gods, then with the Titans, now we're going to Norse mythology. It's like, where are we going to go next? It's like some other...
we're going to go...
Oh, man.
Yeah.
We're going to go to the Abrahamic mythology.
Oh, yeah.
Just fighting, I don't know, seraphims.
Well, our thoughts on Thor's appearance aside, it's like it'll at least still be interesting to see the dynamic between those two battle-hardened warriors that have been through a lot, that have proven themselves, and when we actually eventually do get that battle between them, we'll see how the similarities and the contrast between them, which I'm honestly looking forward to, how they handle that.
Yeah, I'm just still kind of sad about the latest Assassin's Creed game.
Oh, Infinity?
No, Valhalla.
Or the Japan game?
Valhalla.
Oh, Valhalla, okay.
Yeah, you know, the not Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah, well, Origins was pretty good about respecting the legacy of the Brotherhood and all that, the founding of the Brotherhood. It was just the next two games after that really dropped the ball.
Yeah, especially Valhalla.
But I am really hoping that the Japan game is good, at least good enough.
Origins was the one that took
Assassin's
place in
Creed
Egypt,
Japan.
right?
Yeah, we're gonna get. Well, they first announced what's basically an Assassin's Creed MMO, which is Infinity, and then there's rumors going around that they're gonna finally do the Japan-oriented Assassin's Creed game.
Oh, I heard Infinity was the last thing they were gonna do for Assassin's Creed.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, there's still rumors. It's like let's just wait and see how things play out.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, God of War, right? Yeah, God of War.
Didn't we have a Japan and Assassin's Creed Chronicles?
No, that was actually the Fall of China.
Oh, China.
The Chronicles games were China, Russia, and India.
Yeah, and they were all like side scrollers.
Yeah, they were fine.
Good enough, right?
They were decent. Yeah, they're decent. It's like they're not.
We just get a God of War side scroller.
You know what? I'm not necessarily.
I don't know. But let's see. Like, if it is true that they're making the Assassin's Creed Japan-oriented game, we'll see how it turns out. If it's true. Yeah. But anyway, let's go back to the video.
Yeah. Okay.
This shift, in one of the most successful video game franchises of the 21st century, marks a dramatic departure from the way masculinity has been portrayed in mainstream gaming. In the years since we last saw Kratos at the end of God of War 3, a lot has changed for him. He left the doomed Hellenic world for this frozen land of fjords and giants, met and fell in love with Faye, had a son, Atreus, and hid away his blood-soaked blades of chaos in an attempt to bury his furiously murderous past. He has realized that all of the QuickTime event-fueled violence in the world won't change the fact that Kratos was participating in the same toxic cycle.
I would like to point out.
What the hell is it?
I would like to point out. He's saying that the vengeful, like spiteful, blood-filled fighting he did in the God of War games, in Norse mythology, yeah, where it's like nice and peaceful all the time. There's nothing bloody or horrible, tragic happening in Norse mythology ever.
Yeah, except the main, except the namesake of the next game.
Like literally fucking everything.
Yeah, I think he kills Baldur, and she's all. What's his mother? What's it? Faye? Right?
Freya, yeah. No, that's
Freya. Freya, got it. Sorry, my bad. Freya. He's gonna go after him in the next game.
The ex-wife of Odin, by the way. And we know nothing about.
Oh yeah.
We know nothing about this universe's version of Odin, though. What the hell is he gonna be like?
Maybe a dick.
I don't understand how he's attributed to masculinity in all of video gaming.
I don't know why it's called a toxic cycle. Just say it's blood for blood or eye for an eye or whatever you want to call the idea of gods versus man. Like, this is all mythos enacted in some sort of interactive manner. This is not bizarre.
Oh, smart boy! You have to fight hate.
You're fighting the evil within men, or something. Like, what are you talking about? There's nothing like that. There's no innate nature of man to be evil or good or this. It's just a story about beings and men who are being used as puppets and the revenge against what they did to him, and it's going to happen in the next game as well. They did something to Kratos. He has to fight back. Mm-hmm. There's nothing.
Don't tell me there hasn't been a game where there's been a man who's trying to get out of a cycle, if you will. Don't tell me that game doesn't exist.
Wait, so does Ellie?
That's kind of the whole point of God of War 3.
Wait, does Ellie killing all these people for revenge toxic femininity?
Oh my god!
No. She didn't kill Abby. So she's a good person.
That would be contributed.
Yeah, totally.
Killed everyone else but Abby.
But whenever it's like a female person doing it, still they consider it toxic masculinity due to the definition. That's why I always say personality.
Yeah, you see, Ellie didn't kill those people. Joel did. All right.
Every death is Joel's fault.
Oh my god.
Can we bury Last of Us 2, please?
No, we need to explore this kingdom, and you're gonna suffer with us. Anyway, shit, I forgot what I wanted to say.
Good. Moving on.
I hate myself. Fuck.
Yeah, good. You forgot. Moving on.
No, I remembered. Oh
no.
Tanuki, it's a mix. They don't necessarily call Abby murdered Joel and tortured him, and they consider that as no, that's fine, that's okay. But Ellie,
okay, Ellie, this is a different turn entirely. Yes, okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah, fucking Christ on nails.
There are certain quote unquote toxic, and there are certain non-toxic. It's retarded, I know.
Well, that's fucking stupid as fuck.
So revenge from a woman,
right?
Non-toxic. Revenge from Kratos, horrible, evil.
Well,
yeah. Good point. Freya is not toxic. She's doing an honorable job, right?
So what I'm getting is, it's okay. So all female revenge stories are essentially I spit on your grave.
Yeah.
No matter the context.
Yeah, you wronged me, you killed my son. It's okay to completely destroy you.
Even though her son was gonna kill her, but yeah.
Yeah, that was weird.
You son of a bitch.
Also, who wasn't Freya herself that gave him the clue about mistletoe being his weakness?
Yep.
Well then.
God, Norse mythology's fun.
We haven't seen. Just wait until they finally put Odin in. Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, wait until we get the origin for Odin's horse.
Oh my god. Yeah, let's go back to the video.
All right.
That caused his family's death to begin with. Likewise, the real world has changed significantly since 2010. Me Too and a host of other empowering movements have sought to challenge the masculine mass that have shielded toxic behavior for centuries. Gaming subcultures are particularly infamous for their toxic...
I'd argue that the Me Too actually caused more like toxic behavior, but
yes, it has.
You see, it's not. I'd argue it is an absolute fact.
It is a certainty.
Someone who does not conform to archaic ideas of what it really means to be a man. Kratos' life as a Spartan was defined by sweaty, steamy, bare-chested, dude-on-dude conflict. Violence and war were the currencies
I wonder why
every other Spartan life were valued. So much so that on the verge of defeat in battle, Kratos made a Faustian deal with the OG God of War, Ares, and traded his volition for...
Whoa, that's not a Faustian deal. Like, this is not like the Faustian Gambit. This is just the deal with the devil.
Yeah, that's not necessarily masculinity.
Well, it's just I just don't like. I love the story of Faust, but it's just that's not a Faustian deal because if it was, it would be Kratos trying to like rebel against the power to do something. No, he just goes along with it because he got the power.
Oh, rebel against the power? A woman?
Fucking Christ.
No.
What is this guy's idea of
who might have
men in gaming? What is this guy's idea of how guy gamers are? I don't understand.
Video games
does he think every gamer plays God of War? Isn't it exclusive to PlayStation?
No, he thinks that it's all sexist, essentially.
It's all sex. All video games are sexist. Okay.
Well, not all video games, but just like God of War players, because it's because of the blood and gore, and nowadays people view that as childish because like, oh, look at all the blood and being all edgy and shit. It's like, nah, that has its place in gaming, as everything else does. Like, I'm not trying to rag on like walking simulators at all. Like, they're not my taste, but like sometimes you just want to play a game. It's just like, yeah, fucking blow shit up, like Prototype 2. Just run through that shit and be like crazy.
Mortal Kombat, let's perform all the fatalities these characters possess.
So yeah, it's one of those things where it's just it doesn't make a sense when you really break it down, but these people have already decided their own personal bias.
I would say that there's more of a cohesive story to God of War than there is to, let's say, Bayonetta or any of the action Capcom games that are just there for glitz and glamour and style. So with God of War, there's a combo meter, I think, but that's just for points. Like, it's just to get more points. Whereas the whole concept of Devil May Cry and Bayonetta, those are like style is the whole focus. So
it's like that game exists to juggle. You do juggle combos the entire time.
Exactly. It's like playing a Street Fighter game or something like that. It's just in an adventure style. So. And it does have a story. It's ridiculous. It's goofy. It's the supernatural crap that you would probably see watching a show like Supernatural or other shows that are just goofy like that. And
what, Street Fighter?
No. I mean, Devil May Cry sort of
look
stuff.
Devil May Cry literally has a cowboy hat that you use like demonic energy to throw around Whiplash and do Michael Jackson moves with.
Yeah, man.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, but on the other side of the coin, look at Street Fighter. They make it very fucking obvious that M. Bison is the most evil bastard in the world. What's this power called? Psycho power. Yeah, that's totally evil.
I think he means psychokinesis, not psychopathy.
It doesn't even have like a unique name.
Psychopath. No, it's psycho power. Psycho power is literally like the evil, literal evil energy. That's what it is.
I would have to look up the meaning, but
you have the power to lack empathy.
No.
Yes, to the point where he literally split off the good half of him from himself, and it became a separate person.
Well,
I mean, to be fair, to him that was but a Tuesday.
Yes, but
well, I mean, then again, that plot point that I just mentioned happens after the movie.
Well, to get back to the video, the point of Kratos asking for power from Ares is that he's about to lose from some no-name dude, and he's give me power, and I'll do
serve you.
whatever you want, provided I can destroy my enemies. And he did. That's it. Very simple.
Yeah, that's
To
not
the po-
that's
to the
not a
point where-
Faustian gambit. That's just a deal with the devil.
I'm going to die.
To the
Help
point
me. Okay.
That's to the point. Well, first of all, it was actually literally the barbarians, the barbarian king he was about to lose to, and it was to such a point where in God of War 2, the barbarian king actually comes back from the dead, and you kill him again, and you get his hammer.
Free cash money.
All right. Let's
Yeah.
go.
But no, bloody
He's led
story's
himself
bad.
to the emotional slavery inherent in patriarchal power systems.
Patriarchal power systems.
Patriarchal.
What if?
Come
What
on.
if? Okay, wait a
The
second.
chains of
Wait
Wait a
chaos.
second. What if?
Not even the word patriotism.
What
wait,
if
wait,
his
whoa,
god
whoa,
of war
whoa.
was Athena? What if she was like, Athena, give me power, and Athena gives her,
What?
whatever. The same
I'd
story.
like
woman
to. I'd
power,
like to
okay.
ask to go back a little bit further so we can hear the entire thing through.
All right.
Because
Yeah.
I think that was the entire sentence. We stopped in the middle of it.
All right.
Yeah.
Here we go.
In battle, Kratos made a Faustian deal with the OG god of war Ares and traded his
Faustian.
volition for victory. And like the billions of men throughout history who might have done the same,
I don't think he traded his volition. He just says, "Give me power. I want to win," and he did so. That's
He's a
it.
sore loser.
And he won.
And he won. He got the blades, and he chopped his guy's head off, and off he goes. Does whatever Ares wants. Doesn't control his mind. If he could control his mind, he would be a puppet. He wouldn't have rebelled. Wouldn't have the capacity to rebel.
That is pretty much it. Yeah.
It's the blades of patriarchy.
Yeah. So anyway, the argument is, patriarchy because Ares, fine, but there are female gods in the pantheon. So he could have prayed to Athena or whatever. There's a bunch of gods of war. In
He
Greek.
could have been a
I mean,
cleric.
I
He
mean,
could have been a
ironically,
cleric to anyone else.
Yeah.
I mean, ironically enough, she can give him blades like that too at the end of the game. Remember,
Could have.
because just because the blades were gone at the end of the game doesn't mean the curse was removed, and we would see that expanded upon in God of War 4 because the curse is still there. The curse has always been there of the blades.
Yeah, I
The
mean,
blades may be destroyed, but the curse itself never goes
he
away.
could have prayed to Artemis or something for, I don't know, power to shoot his enemies with a bow and arrow. Like, sure, whatever. It's same idea.
Well, mind you, that is true. Although her fate and the fate of a couple other gods are unknown after God of War 3, to be honest.
Right. Okay.
The
Anyway,
major ones are killed, but
this idea of a patriarchal pantheon is just no. I'm sorry. No.
his
This is
lashing
the
of himself to the
patriarchal power.
emotional slavery inherent in patriarchal power systems cost Kratos the love and life of his family at his own hands. These ideas
was
didn't
set up.
die in ancient Greece.
Yeah.
In the 21st
Well,
century,
he said
many
he was
men
a
and boys
slave
are
to
told
the
by society
patriarchy
that
due to
anything
that.
shy of the kind of emotionally stunted machismo Kratos
What?
originally embodied
Huh?
Machismo?
What? Machismo? What the?
What machismo is there?
Machismo. What is
Get-
machismo?
he's just a warrior. He's a gladiator.
Well, I think this person is losing the context that this is based back in like Greek society, where it was like the strong survived. As a Spartan of all people, he would be very masculine and strong and tough.
Yeah, but that's normal. That's healthy. That's what they want.
Yeah, that's
That's-
the thing. That's the context of it. He's like ignoring the fact that he should just like actually be a good warrior because he's a Spartan. It's silly.
No, don't become healthy. Return to fat.
I don't know why it said machismo though. That was just
Also,
weird.
the fact. Also, reminder: Kratos is a demigod.
Well, that's
That
true.
too. He's inherently
maybe-
healthy.
Maybe Kratos is Hispanic.
No.
Just stop.
Let's keep going.
Yeah.
appreciates their worth as a man and a person. Our game movies routinely spin us tales of how an acceptable reaction to tragedy and loss for men is to go on a righteous, vengeful rampage. Like so many other
Not usually. No.
That's satisfying.
Why would you use the Punisher, you idiot?
Okay. The problem with that logic is
criminals.
Oh my god, really the Punisher, even though the whole point of his is like he only kills criminals. Not once does he kill anyone innocent.
He kills pedophiles, he kills rapists, he never kills any innocents, he never kills any cops.
Okay, I get what he's.
If Frank Castle were ever to kill an innocent person, he would break down because that's not the point of what he's trying to do.
Season 2. I think he's set up as if he killed an innocent person and he broke down.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
I think what this person is trying to say.
He wanted to die too. Yeah.
I think what this person is trying to say is that movies over the years has basically ingrained in us that if somebody kills our family, the only path that you can take is one of revenge. And it's like, no, that's a storytelling element. That's if you don't have them going out for revenge, you don't have a story. And then it's just, what do you want us to do? Watch him slowly recover? That's a different type of movie. It's a completely different thing. There's
different character too.
That and it explores like sometimes it's explored as if it's justifiable. Say like, oh, the criminals get away with this, or something.
Yeah, where's the justice?
Yeah, where's the justice? Or it's something that's like, oh, morally ambiguous. It's like, this isn't. We understand why he does it, but say he goes a bit too far or something, like maybe torture.
Oh yes, there's varying degrees of this type of story. It's just this is throwing out all the context of that.
Yeah, he to him is like, no, killing mean if you go revenge, the movie tells you be toxic. Some shit.
Yeah, it's completely ignoring all the other elements and everything else that goes along with the story and the nuances that goes on. It's just saying like, oh, this is just a revenge story to get revenge, and anytime you get revenge, it's bad. It's nonsensical.
I don't know. I just don't know why he would use examples of characters who lost their loved ones, their kids, to explain why it's a problem or something.
Well, probably because he doesn't have a lot of other good examples.
What is the problem? Like what? John Wick maybe? Because they killed his dog. So he killed everybody.
I mean, to be fair, watching that movie, God, it's satisfying watching him do that.
Yeah.
And John Wick also avoids killing civilians.
Yeah.
If this guy brings up Batman to say, oh, he's similar to this, except he doesn't kill, I'm gonna fucking lose it.
Well,
no.
If he brings up counter this,
well,
I would not let that go through.
What if he actually says that because Batman says, "I am vengeance"?
Oh, jeez.
That's all he has.
Well, even in God of War, I think it's I think it was Ascension. There were the Furies. I think they're hunting after after Kratos.
That was subplot in that.
And they are all about vengeance. So there are a bunch of women who want to kill you for being evil. So does that make them toxic? Does that make them?
Yeah. What the hell is like? What is Kill Bill then?
It's a woman. It's fine.
So it's toxic masculinity, obviously.
Because of the patriarchy.
Yeah, but it's not her fault, okay, guys?
It's obviously evil because there's the entire scene where she tries to get her feet to function again. So it's evil because Quentin Tarantino is using the male gaze to look at her feet through his own fetish.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
God, that was hard to fucking word out.
Let's get back to the video, please.
Let's get back to it.
Other quote-unquote heroes, Kratos was haunted by his loss and his continued exploitation at the hands of the gods.
Kratos is no hero.
Patriarchy himself, Zeus. He was portrayed as being entitled to his revenge at all costs.
I will have my revenge.
For every cruel divine head severed and evil deity smashed, there are a host of innocent Greek men and women caught in Kratos' path. Just think about that poor boat captain.
Thank the gods you came back for me. I didn't come back for you.
As such, Kratos was the pinnacle of the kind of roided-out manly man anti-hero that has been oh so popular for decades in modern media. Men who don't have to answer for
God, it's a Terminator, come on.
The toxic trope of righteous anger marginalizes women.
Also, I'd like to point out, he pointed out Rambo. That was the one where Rambo was like out in Africa and he tried to help these people get like video footage.
That was Africa?
Yeah, I can't remember which one it was. It's the one before like the latest one. Where he's
like
out in some foreign
Asia
country. Yeah, it's something like South
Rambo
Asia.
3?
I think I want to say.
Rambo 5, I think.
It was 5, yeah.
Rambo 5, right?
It's and then it's like
no, I mean in the footage.
yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
Is like
that's
I think
what we're
that is
talking
Rambo 5, where he's just out in
okay.
that area, and these people are like, we're trying to do good and document like the indigenous people there, and then the indigenous people are like fucking assholes, and
And Rambo's like,
for lack of a better term, but yeah, and then it's like he's fighting to survive. You can't say that's like an anti-hero when he's fighting for his life.
He is just the boatman, right?
Yeah, he was
it depends
supposed to
on
be
what he
just the
does.
guide.
Yeah, he was supposed to be the guy. Now he's fighting to survive. So far, Rambo didn't do anything that is anti-hero-ish. You could make someone who's fighting to survive an anti-hero, like maybe Joel in Last of Us 1. Like, he tortured
Like
people
ambiguous
before.
morals. Yeah.
Yeah, ambiguous. It's not necessarily, like, inherently evil.
Was it, what was that movie? Blue Ruin? There was a lot of that going on. Where you had, like, people coming in, and it was like the guy had lost his family, he was trying to get revenge on the family, even though it was, like, a mishap. And it's been a while since I watched Blue Ruin, but...
Well, go back to Terminator 2. How is the T-800 an anti-hero?
When he's
It's
literally
played by
trying to
Schwarzenegger.
save...
He is.
When he's literally trying to save John Connor.
He's completely just a reprogrammed robot to serve John Connor. He hasn't done anything bad.
Yeah, from T2 onwards, he's very much a good guy compared to the
Because he
T1000.
doesn't respect human life.
No, that's the T1000.
Well, it's like having any story of a reformed...
Well, no, the T8... Sorry, you were saying.
Well, when you have a reformed character, especially a robot who hasn't actually done anything, because remember, this robot has no recollection of history being changed. Because it's a different
completely different T-800, literally.
It's completely... He's designed to kill, but he hasn't. And John Connor's like, listen, you can't go around killing people, yada, yada, yada. It's like, yes, he's not an anti-hero. He's not breaking the law. He's trying to save the future in a bigger context. Now, you could argue breaking into buildings and doing all kinds of bad stuff within the laws of that city is illegal. I would say, yes, you're right. But he's not a human being. He doesn't have laws. He doesn't have the same rules and freedoms that humans do. So it's a little different when you kind of contextualize him.
Yeah, within the context of T2, that T-800 was sent back in time with the express purpose of protecting John Connor. Ergo, he's one of the good guys as a result.
Yeah, we say anti-heroes like Batman because he breaks the law for a greater good, knowing full well what he's doing. Like he hurts people.
And Punisher.
Punisher, even more so. He kills people, exactly. So,
but he doesn't kill the innocent. That's the key difference.
Yes. So he has his own degree of the law that he follows, his own code.
Yeah, you could say you could argue Punisher may be an anti-hero because he takes the law to his own hands.
I would say he is. I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah, you could say that, but it's like doesn't mean he's evil.
Well, he is the judge, jury, and executioner.
Yeah.
If you're in a world like Rambo 5 where everyone has a gun and they're all part of some militia or some warlord and he knows what's going on and he's defending himself, there's a scene where he's trying to save those I think the woman who was kidnapped.
Yeah, he makes that attempt a lot because a lot of them survive, and he does his best to try to get them all out alive, and part of them it fails.
Yeah, he's running away, and then he has to get that anti-aircraft Gatling gun, whatever the hell that thing is, and just blow people away like they're soup. So
yeah, it's a rough time.
It's action packed for sure. Anyway, here's Space Wolf Blackman. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for the 5. Quite literally, the nuance, of what is the acceptable levels of violence in response to tragedy is very much explored in God of War. I would say all of the violence is explored.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when he's just gouging out Poseidon's eyes,
ripping off people's heads.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's a little bit excessive. But you do it anyway.
Every opportunity to kill someone is made available to you.
It's made available.
Yeah, it's great. You could use them as a wrench for a giant gear. You just sort of throw them in there to keep a platform in place. It's great. Or a door open. Anyway. Okay, we're halfway done, amazingly. Patriarchy, toxic masculinity, and a bunch of other crap. like righteous anger, marginalizing women. Like, okay.
All the bads.
You would think righteous anger sounds good, but apparently, no, it's bad for women. All right. The Furies are bad for themselves.
But what if a woman has righteous anger?
That's what I mean. A Fury would have this revenge plot to right the wrong, and no, it's bad. It's male bad. Even a woman does it.
Yeah. Very silly.
Even if it's just if it's purely all women, it's still a man's fault.
The argument might be that the Furies are controlled by Zeus, therefore it's a patriarchy.
Yeah, ego dreamer in chat. Yeah,
no.
Athena doesn't exist in this game. Yes, exactly.
I mean, no, I'm pretty sure the Furies are their own thing. They're still under Zeus, but they do their own thing.
Oh yeah, they're basically honor and law, and they believe
They're basically the enforcers.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, all men's fault. Let's go.
Women as nothing plot devices. It also teaches men and boys that emotions...
Okay, which women in God of War are plot devices? Does anyone know?
Pandora, I guess, but that's the closest we get.
Okay. Is she
even then,
exploited in some way? Is she like turned into an object?
Quite the opposite.
Okay.
She is an integral part of. She is an integral part of Kratos's, at least a start of Kratos's redemption that goes all the way into 4.
Yeah, and I'm thinking of.
Also, what is this graphic right now?
I don't know.
Is it that he's getting like emotional support that other people are considering him a loser?
Well, the real losers are the ones that mock.
I find this very silly.
Yeah, hugging your mom or whoever that is fine. Who cares?
Yeah.
Also,
yeah.
Can you rewind that a little bit, actually?
Sure.
In this situation,
it teaches boys
in this situation, the people that mock are always the real losers. Let's be honest.
All right, let's go.
For the damage they do in pursuit of their goals. The toxic trope of righteous anger marginalizes women as nothing more than plot devices. It also teaches men and boys that emotions other than anger are to be masked. That brute strength will be rewarded with unchecked dominance in every space.
What the hell?
No kid ever plays God of War. They shouldn't.
First of all, first of all.
What was it? Was it John Lennon's assassination was basically based off of what was it? Grapes of Wrath. We're doing this argument because you're implying that like playing a video game means you have no like agency, and that the game is going to force thoughts on you. You basically decide that books can cause other people to murder each other just because of the ideals that are put into it, and instead of them thinking, these thought processes are interesting. There's a lot of interesting ideas on here. I may not agree with all of them, but I think there's something to be said about all the words that are being put in play. You can see violence, incredible gore, and just like unbelievable pain and suffering, and then still like get your own identity and understanding from it. So saying that this game is like injecting these thoughts into kids, it's essentially, God fucking can't remember his name. A guy who said that video games cause violence in kids.
I think it's the guy that always tried to shut down Rockstar. I forgot. Jack Thompson.
Jack Thompson. Yeah, it's a Jack Thompson argument.
Well,
which I'm just like, thank the Lord above that Jack Thompson got this part when he did.
Well, he's creating this straw man of saying unchecked dominance in God of War is okay. It's like he is a man trying to topple the gods. He probably doesn't care for little pebbles along the way like people too much. So if he's going to start having moral panics or questions of his plot, okay, but he's really focused on revenge, and that's the plot. So why would he need to care about some dude who's a pushover or anything in his way when he's fighting gods?
It's like he needs every advantage he gets.
Yeah, his goal is a bit high. He needs to get really close to it, so it's going to take a very long time. So putzing around with laws and a bunch of mortals running around getting in his way, he's like, no, he doesn't care. And if it's unchecked, like who's gonna hurt him? Who's gonna come against Kratos? What mortal would ever dare?
Wait, don't the gods have unchecked power?
Well, that's the problem.
Yes.
That's the problem. He's fighting these people he considers evil.
Well, he is the check for the gods.
Exactly. But who checks the checkers?
Shut the fuck up. Keep going.
In the mid-teens, many young men in their formative years came to the God of War franchise for the tight controls, visceral combat, and epic narrative, but stayed for...
What? Okay.
In 2018...
So that's,
okay.
So that's not visceral gore? What?
Okay. My problem with this is they have all these other things of why they like the series, but let's be honest, guys. They only stayed for the Beavis and Butthead reasons.
No, we didn't. We stayed for all the other things.
It's just to treat. It's trying to treat people who enjoy this game as like. I hate saying this term, but the dude bro archetype, where it just they only care about like just tits and cod and just like blood and gore instead of like looking at the really interesting aspects of God of War.
Nice.
It's a combination of great platforming, puzzle solving, and combat. It's really well done.
But the tits, man.
It's kind of like comparing it to Zelda. I know we talked about Zelda previously on the Smudcast a few days ago, but there's great platforming and puzzles in Zelda, but really bad combat. Not really bad, but straightforward combat. Whereas combat in God of War is a series of combination attacks of ducks and dodges and changing weapons on the fly and juggling and all kinds of power moves and stuff like that. So it's more brawler action-esque, whereas Zelda is more duck, weave, dodge, hit, shield, it's more strategic. It's more thought out. So it appeals to many people. It's more action focused. It's more cutscene focused. They want a big spectacle. They have all kinds of crazy levels, like it was Daedalus's Labyrinth, I think, was one of them. Just fantastic designs in the levels. Bigger than life characters, like you're walking on top of a Titan. I think of God of War 2.
Oh yeah, where you're on top of Kronos.
Yeah, like that is cool. Like that's really he's gigantic, and you're like, holy crap.
Yeah,
it was 3, I think.
3? Okay.
Yeah, you actually slice him bit by bit with the blade of Olympus.
Oh yeah, and then it like breaks down everything. Yeah.
It's this style and scale that we keep coming back, and I hated the QuickTime events. That's just one of the things I think that broke immersion.
Damn, I forgot what the Titan's name was in 2. The Titan that holds up the world. I forgot.
Oh, the lady?
No, the lady. No, that's Gaia. That's another one.
Gaia.
The only person that ever held up the world would have been Atlas.
Atlas, that's who I'm thinking of. Yeah,
my bad.
Atlas. I forgot his name.
All right. Anyway,
this is great mythology.
All this cool
Obviously
Greek
Atlas.
mythology. People stayed for this game.
Yeah, there's a lot
reduce
going
the
on.
argument
There's a lot going on.
Oh well, we can't separate the art from reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's maybe a few topless women. One of them is a few creatures you have to fight. The harpies, I think, are a few of them. But who cares? We're not there for the tits, guys.
It's just fun.
There's topless women in GTA.
Yeah.
I'm there to play a fun drug crime-ridden story about, like, Vice City, for example. I want to play as that Tommy guy.
Yeah,
that's all I care about.
I want to do cheats and get a fucking tank.
I want to have fun.
I want to reenact that scene from Scarface where we get that chainsaw and.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then in San Andreas you experience what I can only just an equivalent of what was it, the LA riots from the 90s.
God.
Oh.
That's literally they do pretty much their own version of the LA riots at the end of San Andreas.
Just no roof Koreans.
It's like madness in the streets. You got to take over some territory. It's madness. It's pretty much the LA riots in video game form.
Gotta steal some TVs with your friends.
Exactly.
Well, you steal the TVs early in the game. I'm talking about like the final stretch of the game where they actually do the analogy for the LA riots.
Also, why doesn't this guy take into account that Nintendo also existed? Not everyone could afford a PlayStation.
I actually got
I don't think-
Nintendo before I got PlayStation 3.
Like, what would you get for your kid? A Nintendo, not a PlayStation.
This is the overall problem with people that are against video games. It's like they portray all of gaming as being everything under the M rating, which is dead wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there are so many fun games. Like Sly Cooper was a shit ton of fun. You have just like so many different aspects in gaming, and this is just like looking at this one game from this one series. And then I remember working at like a GameStop and just like looking around, and there was an entire wall, like a 40-foot wall of just fucking PlayStation games. From SSX Tricky to just like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater to Forza.
Yeah.
There's so many different genres of
Tomb
games out
Raider.
there. And this is just bringing out the one where it's just like, oh, there's blood in this and gore
Well,
to an extent.
if you
so
remember-
therefore,
And
Nintendo-
women are treated unfairly.
Nintendo
oh, no.
did have Conker's Bad Fur Day, which was
oh, but that was like the best one.
I know
That was rare, though.
it was great.
Oh man, actually, even like when they redid it for the Xbox, I still love the multiplayer in that game because it was so funky.
It was damn fun, yeah.
Oh, it was so much fun. And then even then, like Conker's Bad Fur Day, like that was a fun game.
Yeah, but there's a reason why Nintendo, like 99.9% of the time, never do M-rated stuff. They do, but first of all, it's not from them. It's from third parties. Second of all, they know the risk of it,
Yeah.
especially with
Oh,
what they're
man.
trying to do.
God, rest in peace, Rareware. You'll be missed.
They've literally, Nintendo's literally funded the very existence of Bayonetta 2 and 3.
Oh man.
If it weren't for Nintendo, we wouldn't have had anything beyond the first game.
Yeah.
So I always
Literally.
refer to Bayonetta as not Devil May Cry.
It's not. It's bigger. It's more large scale. Funny enough.
Well, you say large scale, but at the same time, it's still like there's hit combos and whatnot. All they do is play it out on a more grander scale.
Yeah, the presentation is more out there.
Yeah, I mean when you're doing like kick flips in space to knock around an asteroid, yeah.
Like Bayonetta at this point is literally a parody of what these idiots complain about nowadays.
Anyways,
Anyway, yeah, let's get back to the video. We all play these games for many reasons, not because there's boobs. That's pretty stupid.
Young players had watched women in the industry attacked on every corner of the web
We
during
don't care.
Why is he
Whoa,
showing
whoa,
this?
whoa,
Why is he
whoa.
showing this? woman
Anita
of all people?
Sarkeesian is straight up a grifter.
She is the worst fucking feminist I've
She
seen.
deserves all the criticism that was
One
being
of the
thrown at her.
worst.
She's a public figure. She made it known. She attacked gamers. She called them out for being.
These people are the attackers.
No.
You fucking idiot.
I'm okay. For the sake of this, I'm specifically talking about Anita. She had $1 million project that when she finally pumped out the end results, I have seen people who have done things for free do a way better job. And it just showcases how much of a lie she pushed forth. And it's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
So we're done with
she's a
this video,
horrible
right?
person.
No, we can keep going.
We're almost there. I mean, it's a short ass
No,
video.
I mean we could just stop it now and just get to memes, right?
Yeah, we got 2 more minutes. We can make that.
I
there-
can't
are
believe
there even
I
memes?
don't want to see this person. I don't.
Don't worry. Let's keep going. Here's Tyler Preston for the one. Thank you, sir. Let's hope that this guy doesn't discover games like Oni Chanbara. The amount of
Onichibara. Oh, that's the one where it's the girl in a bikini and hot pants with a cowboy hat swinging a katana killing zombies.
the amount of vampire girls killing zombies while wearing sexy outfits would blow his mind.
Wasn't that a Wii game?
I told you.
Wasn't that a Wii game?
That was actually on PS2 if I'm not mistaken.
Oh fuck.
Okay.
moving on.
I only know that game in passing, but all you need to know about that game is the cover art, which is a girl swinging a katana in a bikini top and hot pants with cowboy boots and a cowboy hat.
I
against
don't remember
zombies.
what that is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the entire cover of it.
God damn. Now I remember.
Yeah. Anyways.
Okay, moving on.
The Me Too movement had only just begun to finally promote the voices of people who had survived through the kind of entitled victimization that the original God of War games arguably glamorized.
Whoa, wait,
what?
Wait, can we dial that back a little bit? Because the kind of victimization that was caused by God of War games.
I don't know. I was getting something to eat. I missed it. So
what did Kratos do to women? What did he do?
A few.
Nothing that he didn't do to literally everyone else.
Kratos is the boy who cried wolf. Then
what is he talking about?
Like I said, go back real quick because I want to hear that again. Because it's just like it was so outlandish that it threw me off.
Also, reminder: most of the people that Kratos like utterly brutalized are literal gods that could curb stomp him any other day.
And they're men
not just normal gods, even the female gods, even Athena or Artemis or Aphrodite.
Even Aphrodite could curb stomp him. Yeah.
So is there like
who was the one that tricked him into killing his family?
Ares.
Dude.
The god of war.
Ares.
Yeah, but
the guy he replaced.
Yeah, but this is like some stupid thing like Harvey Weinstein is Kratos or some bullshit comparison. Like, this is ridiculous.
It's like, oh, this is a very masculine fucking character. He must have caused the suffering of women. What are you on about?
That makes literally no sense, dude.
Like I said, I just go back a little bit. I just want to make sure I heard this correctly.
All right, let's go back.
Promote the voices of people who had survived through the kind of entitled victimization that the original God of War games arguably glamorized. About the dramatic shift in
Whoa.
That was a lot of words.
They survived. This is the word I'm so interested in.
Yeah, so Harvey Weinstein nearly killed women, apparently, just like Kratos, who didn't actually harm women unless they asked for it.
Well, the problem is that Kratos, the whole story behind him is tragic because he ended up killing his own family. And the entire story is a story of regret.
He was set up.
So to say that like it glamorizes like dominant men abusing women, it's like, what are you even talking about? That has nothing to do with the story of God of War.
At least, it's like if you're set up to kill your own family, at least some people in the real world would at least they would at least be angry that it happened. Not go out on a rampage, but at least they'd be angry that they're set up.
So what are you gonna do in the new God of War? You killed a mother's son, right? And now you gotta fight that mother.
No, he's gonna have a...
Yeah, but they were... Well, the game makes it abundantly clear that they were asking for it.
No, Kratos is clearly gonna have a bunch of tea parties. He's gonna bake scones for everyone. And smoke some peace pipes. You know, he's gonna bring in all this cultural appropriation because, you know...
Look, man, scones are hard in Norse mythology because you really don't have a good working oven.
Well, you can get the heat up.
Thor is fat.
You would have to use the fat from your enemies after you finish slaughtering them.
Okay.
He'll use Thor's fat.
That literally makes me think of like Fight Club, where it's just like they go into the liposuction. It's like the fat of the land, God's fat.
Oh no!
So in the chat in the stream, Brandon Day Music Videos says Kratos did kill a defenseless woman, but he did so with countless other men.
Yeah,
I mean, okay, yeah, you're not wrong, but
he doesn't discriminate, pretty much.
Yeah, but it is like back in the day, Greece, when you're sacking cities regardless.
Exactly. It's
like that's
equality.
the context.
Everyone dies.
The context is the plot is a product of its time. So yes, you're gonna have those instances.
Here is JS. Thank you for the $1. Kratos is Harvey Weinstein coded. Duh.
Oh my! I despise the term coded because it just gives me an excuse for people to say whatever they want about shit.
This is heathen speak.
Yeah, this salad is steak coated. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Thank God Corley Barlog just came in and saved the day and saved all women and men. Coated.
Oh, that might be my favorite food reference so far.
I hate that. I don't know why I thought of it, but yeah.
It works perfectly, but once you say it, it leaves a bad taste on the tongue. Yes.
Yes.
Anyways.
Okay,
oh my
4
God.
minutes. We're almost done. We got 2 minutes left. And every sentence he's said so far has been a misuse of words. So,
Would you rather talk about food?
I mean, I could talk about food for about 5 hours.
We
though.
could, but I
love
want to
Reuben
finish this
cheese.
off and get a drink because
Yeah.
I'm getting a headache.
Yeah,
Reuben cheese is
look,
based.
look. Right now, I'm on a really it's not like a great bottle of bourbon, but it works for what I'm doing. And then I gotta cook dinner, and I'm gonna have some fun with like dinner tonight. It's gonna be a good night. Let's just finish this up. I'll get through it, and then I got a game of Lancer later. So fucking mechs, tabletop RPG mechs. Yeah, I want to get to that.
All right, let's go.
Don't get
Alright.
too much started on bourbon, dude. Go on.
I know. Don't worry, Tanuki could probably out-talk me, but let's just keep it.
Oh, probably.
Take it to the game. Take it to the video. We're fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Games. Director Cory Barlog said in an interview with Polygon, the concepts of strength and emotional vulnerability
Yeah, Polygon. I don't care.
are not two warring or diametrically opposed concepts. Kratos' overriding personality trait is a simple, all-encompassing rage. This anger is often all the character has to motivate and propel him through the story. This anger is the source of Kratos' power, and grappling with this legacy as it is inherited by Atreus is a major
Not
point of
in
this
not in
title.
PS4.
For Kratos, this anger is rooted
Whoa,
in agony
whoa.
and the fear.
Did he just mispronounce Atreus' name?
He's been saying it like the whole time.
Atreus.
Also,
Atreus?
I
Is
feel
it
like,
Atreus?
I feel like saying that all of
Atreus.
Atreus.
but I also
It's
feel like
Atreus, it's
he's
always
Are we the bad guys? I don't know.
Atreus
Aye.
the anus.
But no, I feel like right now he's completely misrepresenting Kratos' motivation. The original time where he was going through it, it was because that he was put up by Ares and he's trying to get revenge for it. Then after that, he finds out that he was betrayed by the gods, essentially.
Yeah, that the gods were never gonna. They were never gonna bring his family back as part of the agreement he made in the first place.
So just to say that it's just like blind rage that he just keeps going forward. No, like vengeance doesn't necessarily have to be just like hot-blooded. That can be a multitude of different things.
Wrath is focused, raged, not blind.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'd argue that Kratos is more vengeance.
Yeah. That's the entire point.
Exactly.
He wants his revenge.
And this is like just dropping that down as like, oh, he was angry. This guy, this fucking Joker, his family died and he thinks he can just get vengeance on them. Like that's what's coming off as.
It's like, wow, this guy
And he does the
wants to
same
take
thing in this
revenge?
game. What is the difference? I don't understand.
Well,
Same
you
concept,
have
How
Atreus the
how does
anus.
he do the same? No, oh my! God, you just opened a can of worms. How does he do the same thing in this game?
Anyway,
Doesn't Atreus get abducted by what's his name, Baldur, right?
Yeah, but in the context there, it's like he goes full rage again and takes up the Blades of Chaos again because it's for the purpose of protecting his son. He doesn't want to lose his family again.
Hmm.
But he's killing people. It's toxic.
He's killing Eldritch abominations, you fucking.
anyway,
I'm just saying he's being a warrior. That's all. You know.
He's being a warrior, but this time he's being a warrior for better reasons, for the right reasons,
Sure, yeah.
actually, protecting his
Exactly.
family.
Maybe that's a better description. Actually,
Yes.
It is.
This time, it's the thing is the difference between the rest of the series and now. This time he's doing it for more righteous reasons, for better reasons than before.
hmm
That's the thing.
Yeah.
all right.
You mean to say there's character development?
Yes.
That's illegal.
There it is.
Anyways.
Let's not even make-
Anyways.
Let's keep going. Here's
Let's move on.
I hate to say this, but here's Noble Commando's super chat. Master Chief is green coated.
Yeah, he
Coated.
is indeed green coated.
Unfortunately.
Oh,
He's
No,
covered
not
in
unfortunately.
green coat.
I thought it was German coded.
No. You don't have you have a German coat?
Do you want Wisp to
Give
come
the-
here and call you out on your bullshit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
The
Let's
video.
keep going.
We're almost done.
The fear that his sins are unable to be, or not worthy of being, understood.
What?
He hides his true nature from Atreus. and in doing so hides his son's nature from himself.
Huh?
This same betrayal is all too common in the real world, where young boys are emotionally repressed
Wait. You're trying to tell me because he didn't say...
Wait, what? Whoa, okay. First off,
What?
he is using, if I'm not mistaken, this was a commercial from Africa. And if we're doing this argument where it's like boys from Africa, the main problem that boys from Africa have to face is becoming child soldiers and starvation.
No, really?
Yeah, but what does this have to do with him not telling his son that he's the god of war? And...
Well, no, he's...
Nothing. The real context is that there's been, since the beginning, there's always been the cycle of, Kronos is a dick, Zeus comes in and kills him, Zeus is a dick, Kratos kills him. Kratos eventually becomes a dick, what's gonna happen?
Well, okay, what is it like?
Kratos wants to prevent the cycle of the son killing the father.
Yeah.
But
Kratos was the one that started that.
Now it's past this, but it's the person who made this video is essentially saying that Kratos feels like in God of War 4 that his son will not understand his values or why he did the things he did, so he cannot talk to him about it. Which, okay, there is a whole thing where it's like hard to tell like your son or your offspring or things that you did because you're nervous about the backlash. That doesn't mean you don't tell them because they won't understand. You tell them, like, the reason you're nervous about telling them is because you're scared of the process of making your son or your offspring look at you differently.
Yeah,
like have a different
you might drive him away.
Yeah, exactly. And so this is not like he doesn't do it because he doesn't feel his son will understand. He's like, no, he's scared because his son will understand, but doesn't understand the reasoning behind it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's well put. It because like what he's not. How old is Atreus anyway?
He can't
Like
be
12.
more older. Yeah.
Yeah, and that makes us, in Kratos' case, it especially makes it worse when later in Helheim, we literally get the God of War 3 callback of Kratos killing Zeus, which in Kratos' mind would make the situation even worse given that context.
Well, I remember too that once Kratos told him about his heritage, Atreus started acting out, and they even did it in the gameplay where you would want him to shoot arrows and.
Yeah, that's a very interesting way how the game...
Atreus started to be a pompous little shit because once Kratos told Atreus that, I am a god, therefore you are a god too, he started being a pompous little dipshit, and then Kratos eventually told Atreus the real truth, and he just got it. Like that. He knew. He understood.
Oh God.
He told him the whole truth.
You mean to tell me there's story development?
Yes.
He was Atreus the Anus. He can take anything in.
Anyways, but no, seriously, it's one of those situations where it's just like there is entire reasoning for all of this. There's plot reasoning. It makes sense within the story and all of this. You have just taken this out of context to push your own idea forward.
Yeah,
well,
this is literally what this entire video is. Like, I don't know why he's comparing fucking kids from like mid-African West Africa.
Is my dad
God of War?
Yeah, is my dad a god?
Dude.
Is any of you guys' dad's a god?
Oh, you didn't know that? What the fuck?
Yeah, like Smud, are you a god?
Apparently,
God.
I haven't had that
Smud
conversation yet. I'm being lied to as we speak. So.
No. Anyways, continuing on.
Yeah.
He's a god.
Yeah.
He knows
It might be killing you, Smud. Have that
onward.
conversation.
Oh God.
Demands they fit a rigid mold of masculinity. In her 2003 book, The Will to Change, author Bell Hooks says, anger prevents love and isolates
Bell
the one
Hooks?
who is angry.
No, okay.
First of all, this book came out before God of War even existed.
And also, Bell Hooks
he's
is
just trying to
is
say,
the reason
like,
behind a lot of
philosophy shit.
problems today between like gender inequality, because of like her book has caused a lot of controversy between a lot of people and like the logic behind it.
The book, fine. See that? You mean to tell me the book that calls out these issues causes these issues?
Wow, it's an intersectional feminist. Wow, what a great idea. Let's listen to her ideas. Let's hear what she has to
Anger
say.
prevents love.
If I'm not mistaken,
people
bell
are
hooks
angry
is the
because-
reason why, like, no matter what happens, the man, if there's a domestic abuse call, the man will always be told to leave the premises, even if it's like the woman causing the domestic abuse. It's caused a lot of really fucked up problems within society.
And it's completely fucking retarded that that's how it works.
Also,
it's okay because everything she does is because patriarchy.
Also, real quick, people, I just want to say, every time you read a study, look into the sample size, what is being asked of the people in that sample size.
Exactly.
And, like, what is the contextual nature, and also, how broad is the field of it?
Well, I'm glad that we're referencing an intersectional feminist to talk about males. That's really
an intersectional feminist too is about race, capitalism, and gender.
Maybe we should.
I just call it capitalism.
You know, why don't we actually reference men who talk about these things, who know about men who are well behaved or whatever? Why don't we do that and reference those guys to see how that relates to God of War or Kratos?
Well, actually,
nothing's better than asking one sex about how the other sex works.
Oh yeah, it's a great idea. I always talk to my guy friends about women.
As a man, I wish I
if we really wanted to talk about this, the thing we would do is actually be looking to studies with a decent sample size that shows behavioral differences between both genders. Within a size comparison, I'd say, what is a good sample size? About 100,000, that is a great sample size when you actually look at a lot of these studies. Because you will find studies for just like, you will find studies that claim that telepathy is real in academia. Just because someone pushed forth this thing. It's like, yeah, we had a sample size of like 10 people and like 51% got it right. So we're just going to say that this is right. Always look at all the information, people. Always.
Indeed.
Yeah. Look at the method, look at
information is
power. Whether it's an observation or experimentation, how it was done, and all that shit, and how they got the patient,
also how the questionnaire is worded.
Exactly.
Like, you will find so much bias in just questionnaires and how certain things are set up for those things, because you can actually lead people into questions just by how the way it's worded. That's how we ended up with the 1 in 5 statistic, because it's even people who like regretted having sex, that was considered rape.
Oh,
yeah. So there is so many messed up things that are in society right now due to quote unquote studies that were made biased due to their own wording and questioning. Apologies for going off on a tangent like that, but I have this big problem of people just saying, well, these people say that like these are statistics. I'm like, well, where did they get the statistics from? Where did all that come from? Where did we get this information? What was the study size? I get really in depth on that.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you. I have the same
frustration. We live in a society.
Well, here we're going to talk about emotions.
You are a society.
And states of mind that prevent other states of mind and other types of behaviors. Like, that's fine.
From Bell Hooks, who's already a very biased individual, but let's keep going.
So she was a gamer, right?
Oh, this is kind of funny to that ridiculous quote by Yoda. You know, anger leads to hate and all that other bullshit. This is the same idea.
Wait. That's the Gandhi quote, right?
No, that's Yoda. Anger leads to hate.
Right.
Hate leads to suffering and all this bullshit.
Yeah.
So here we have one emotion. Anger prevents love and isolates the one who is angry. It's like anger could also prevent you from making.
Exclusive.
Yeah, anger could also prevent you from making breakfast. It could do lots of things. What are you talking about? So
anger prevents you from making eggs. No,
I get angry at the fucking asshole who cuts me off in traffic. That doesn't prevent me to get to the grocery store.
Oh, no.
It prevents love.
You could be angry.
I mean, it will if you get angry and you have a road rage and get into a car crash. Yeah.
Okay, that's one way to be angry.
Did that one time.
You could be angry at your kid if he did something that is like bad for him, and you're just angry or frustrated, not at him but for him.
And it prevents you from being a father. Yeah.
What ends up happening is
prevents you from being dad.
You get strong emotion.
Hey, look,
positive or negative, whether it's anger or love. You're going to feel very strong emotion from the person you care about. So if they do something that's bad, you get angry. You're like, what the hell? My image of you is different now because you have this new memory of you that's bouncing around in my noggin saying, you did something wrong. So you're emotionally charged.
Well, look.
What do you mean you're telling me you're gay?
No. We have put more thought into all of these discussions than this person put into his script. So
you think
we
this
might as well
person
keep going.
had a thought to begin with?
Let's go.
It is often successful to push away what is most longed for, companionship and understanding. It is a denial of the humanness of others, as well as a denial of your own humanness. Anger is the agony of believing.
Wait, should we go back and listen to this whole quote?
This is nonsense.
No.
I think we listened enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Believe you are not capable of being understood, and that you are not worthy of being understood. What the
It's
fuck
drivel.
is?
It's drivel.
Retarded. She's retarded.
How this
This
fits
is
in the
no.
game, I
This
don't
is
know.
a literal example of word salad.
It is a word salad.
Anyway,
It's a nothing.
do
And
not
it's got no dress.
do not
So it's very,
do
very
not
bland.
think about this. This is crap. We all know it's crap. There's no point in trying to figure it out.
Capable of being good, and that you are not worthy of being understood. This same male anger is
And then he shows a picture of frickin'
Fucking
No
NFL
anger.
hockey, like what,
Why-
1980?
yeah,
Whatever
Blades
it
of
was.
Glory, whatever it was. I can't remember what it's called. Blades of Steel, I think.
Blaze of
Man.
Steel, because Blaze of Glory was the fucking Will Ferrell movie.
Yeah, sorry, wrong Blades.
Oh, that movie.
Blades of things on ice blades. There you go. Okay.
rife
Ice
in our
blades,
in gaming
fury,
communities
energy.
in particular. God of War is only one clear example of this recent trend. Red Dead Redemption 2 shows the most
Oh no.
Eric, you're
Oh,
up, Eric.
flip.
You're up, Eric.
Let's keep going. Let's go.
Okay.
quintessentially
point.
manly profession of Wild West outlaw through a modern lens. Player characters Arthur and John Marston grapple with betraying the patriarch of their gang, Dutch, who sacrifices
patriarch.
innocent lives as he clings to traditional
no,
ideas
whoa.
of manliness in a rapidly progressing world where women want to do revolutionary
No, this is
Eric,
What are
literally
you
just.
talking about?
Your thoughts.
What
Eric,
the
you're one
fuck
who
are you
loves-
talking about?
Dude, there's women outlaws. Are you crazy?
Well, no, he says the patriarch of her. No, he means leader. The leader of their small gang. They rebel against him, and he's using the idea of the leader as the patriarch because he's male. That's not
It's
how
a-
that
it's a-
works. Like, if you have a patriarch of a family, that makes sense. But whether or not the person that leads your gang is male or female, they're still the fucking leader. You could just do the entire game the same way, swap Judge's gender, and have it be out the same way. It would not be different. It's
As
just-
long as it's a horizontal hierarchy, it's a patriarchal hierarchy.
No, it's fucking retarded, is what it is.
Dutch doesn't really give a shit though. Like he even has a moment where he's, you can either stay in the gang or you can leave. This is like
Virgil,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Dutch is a bad
I'm retarded.
person, obviously. So it's just like, what the fuck are you on about?
they're all bad people.
Yeah, exactly.
They rob and kill anybody that gets in their way.
Also,
And they
he's
continue
leaving
to
out
spread destruction everywhere.
he's leaving out
Those-
he's leaving out the fact in this thing where it's like, when we're voting for their rights, yeah, they were doing that within the time period. And also in that mission, you can just kill the person who's like preaching to have their like fucking voter rights registered.
I remember there was a YouTube recommendation long
So-
ago
so-
when
So
you
it's
literally
like this
throw a woman
is
to
a
an
null and
alligator.
void point.
And that's
There's no
one
reason.
one very small scene in the game because the game is gigantic. So
Yeah, that's a massive game. I've still not finished
Yeah,
it.
and Arthur and John are, yes, they do doubt Dutch, but the reason Arthur goes out of his way to go against Dutch is because he finds out he has tuberculosis. It suddenly puts into question about everything he's done in his life.
Yeah, so like there is a very, very massive thing that occurs that you have to go back and go, is this person really in it for like what's best for everyone or what's best for himself? And that is a very human element to bring into it. And this person
And
is just saying, "Oh well, he's just rebelling against it because it's patriarchy." It's like, no. There's a lot more going on.
And he tries to get John out of the gang life so that he can spend his time with his family. That's what he wants. So this guy doesn't make any sense.
There is so much more going on. It's just, let's just keep going.
Yeah.
It's just fucking ridiculous.
Here's Joe Crazy. Thanks for the 5, Joe. You don't trust extremely biased studies. What are you, anti-intellectual? That wasn't even a study. That was just some quote by a lunatic.
Well, no, I think he was referring to when I was talking about, like, always, like, be very inscrutable about, like, studies and always look into it. It's kind of like Beyond Meat. On their website, they have, like, all the studies for everything, all their, like, detractors. For, like, meat-based stuff, everything else. Their own studies and their own statistics for them is literally just, trust me, bro. Just trust me.
I got this.
But yeah, if you actually go to their website, they just say, these are the statistics we have. But here are the other studies that have been done in, like, great scrutiny and detail. So you just trust those, and then just trust our stats. Like, we're healthier than meat, obviously. They're not going into the fact that you have to, like, have massive amounts of acreage for, like, all, like, the plant-based proteins and all that. They're not going into the fact, like, the emissions from, like, tractors and harvesters and things like that for doing all that. They don't talk about any of that. They just say, we are this way, so just trust us.
Wait, I have a question. If the woman is the leader and you want to betray her, would that be considered patriarchy? Oh, for fuck's sake.
Context.
Oh yeah, and that reminds me. So in Red Dead, you can play as an absolute piece of shit and kill all the feminists. So
yeah,
you can throw a feminist to an alligator.
That's not a piece of shit for me.
But anyway. God forbid context of the game.
But what is that?
Did this guy context is sexist or I don't know, bigoted or something?
Well, no, it's not any of that. It's just biased.
Yeah, he is biased. We know.
Yeah,
he doesn't like context.
We got what 44 seconds left. Let's fucking do it.
Okay,
dude.
Like vote and wear pants. A year after release, God of War continues to rack up critical and commercial acclaim as one of the greatest games of this generation.
For good reason.
The story tells about men, their sons, and the self-destructive cycles of inheritance.
Well, he just said God of War, not which one.
Pantheons and power structures. It is an example of how games as a storytelling medium have matured, along with the people who make and play them. Its success steers towards a bright future fueled by societal winds of change for an industry with a dark and toxic past.
This game doesn't ignore its past.
The evil of the gaming
Literally,
industry.
this game would not exist without its past.
The evilness of Shigeru Miyamoto making Mario Brothers and Zelda.
This its own is not the entire arc of Kratos' redemption. This is one of several steps within that redemption. If anything, this is the final step in that arc.
Oh,
yeah,
dear.
the evils of Metroid Prime.
Don't you dare!
It's so
or Zelda. Yeah.
Oh wow! Only one stream name. Thank you, Jackpot. When someone retarded opens his mouth and says "toxic," I'm going to punch you right in the nuts. Okay, that's great.
Yeah,
that's assuming if he had nuts.
Oh yeah, it's probably toxic. It's too toxic for him. There's too many hormones going on. Can't process all those androgens.
Only peanuts.
So wait, literally just one stream meme? What the fuck?
That's it. One stream meme.
My God,
to be fair, this is a very fucking lackluster topic because this individual was so fucking stupid that he just left out the context of literally everything that was involved in the game. We gave more context to the game than he did in the entirety of the 6:35 minute that he was going.
Yes.
You want a Red Dead meme? See if I can find one.
No, let's keep the record for the lowest amount of memes. Keep it to one. Let's keep the record.
All right, guys, that was not too long, an hour and a half of one very biased take on God of War, and obviously the upvote downvote ratio is pretty clear on why that is. This was just a bunch of talking points bunch of words, no references that made any sense, out of context definitions of scenarios that happen in some of the games.
I have never seen a word salad last over like a paragraph, but apparently he was able to spread out over 6 minutes 35 seconds.
Why do people like this video?
Because they're ignorant.
This guy had one popular video from 9 months ago called "Fans React to the Mandalorian Chapter 16: The Rescue," which is the very famous episode where
okay, he was probably just riding fame off of that.
Yeah, so he's got about 4 million views on that one. And I guess he just added them all up together. He just added up all the people reaction videos to that. So good for him, sir. You did a reaction video of other people reacting. And
Does that make you a reactionary now?
Well, technically.
No. Okay. In the literal definition, yes. In the communist definition, no.
Anyway, we got to go get some food and drink going, but thank you so much for joining us. That was pretty quick. Nice, relaxing weekend, guys. So go enjoy the rest of your evening. Take her easy. Yep. Thank you so much for joining us. Keep the suggestions coming.
Y'all have a wonderful weekend.
Yeah, thanks Tanuki for popping in. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Anyone
I know I have a habit of being like the food and drink guy, but I do study a lot about like storytelling and information and things in the sphere of just all that, because like that's the thing that I actually drew me to your channel in the first place, is just like writing and storytelling and mythos and all that. So I always get a very enjoyable buzz every time that's brought up and there's like commentary and criticism about that. It increases my level of understanding of things, and that's what I'm here for.
All right, good to hear. All right, folks. Well, thanks for your time. We'll talk to you real soon. Have a great evening, and as I always keep saying, keep the suggestions coming. You never know when the ones you want to catch will pop on, even if you've already recommended it. Keep them coming. It's just a matter of being voted on.